Hi, my name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. It's book review day! Today we're going to talk about Arabian Sands by Wilfred Thesiger. A little while ago I had the chance to read Arabian Sands by Wilfred Thesiger. I had been looking for this book for a long time. I had heard about the book by various explorers and people talking about some of the greatest explorations in the 20th century. And this guy constantly comes up. He was born in Addis Ababa. That's embarrassing. I'm not sure what it is. In 1910, Englishman educated in England. In 1945, just reading from the back here, I'll talk more about the experience in a minute. He spent 5 years exploring the empty quarter of Arabia. What is the empty quarter of Arabia, you might ask? Well, look at the picture on the book. Other than the dude holding the rifle and that little tree, what do you see in the book? That's right, or on the book, sorry. That's right, nothingness. The empty quarter is the biggest, other than Antarctica, is the biggest non-living animal or area on Earth. It's just truly sand dune after sand dune after rock pile after sand dune, and it's huge. The book has some maps about it. Let me flip through here. I'll show you. Okay, so if you've ever looked at the Arabian Peninsula, you see this little dog ear here. That is the Arabian Peninsula, that little corner, Gulf of Oman and all that. But you see this huge blob here? That's right. That is the empty quarter. And classically people didn't cross it because, I don't know, crossing this huge, dangerous sand dune area might result in something called death. Yeah. Run out of water, run out of food, get attacked by raiders, die from heat exhaustion, what else? Fall down some cliff, break your legs, fall down, get squashed by a camel. Let me go down the long list of bad things that can happen to you. And yet, Wilfred Thesiger went out and did it. Now, the interesting thing about this book is, and this is one of the key points of it, is he is one of the last great, if not the last great Western explorers to go into the Arabian Peninsula before oil became a thing during and before and after World War II on the Arabian Peninsula that fundamentally and irrevocably altered life forever on the peninsula. Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Oman, UAE, all those different countries, maybe Yemen, I don't know, they're doing a civil war right now. That's a whole other story. But the empty quarter is one of the greatest expanses of sandy nothingness next to Antarctica on the planet. And Thesiger went through there, I think it was 5 times. And he traveled with the Bedou people. He hooked up with several guides to show him across the desert. Now, he wasn't so stupid as to say, I am a brave Englishman, and I'm going to go into the empty quarter by myself. No, that's guaranteed suicide. I do a lot of crazy things, but I don't do guaranteed suicide because you don't know where you're going. You don't know where the water is going to be. You bring enough food for survival, but without that water, you just can't carry enough water. And how are you going to manage enough camels to go with you? And then, not only back in that day, as in today, sadly, when you go into these areas, if you don't have the local person to talk to the locals to make sure you can make it through without getting executed, guess what's going to happen? Yeah, that's right. They're probably going to whack you. So Thesiger's adventure as a Christian infidel into this world was just utterly stunning. They actually have some picture plates here of the one young boy who traveled with him quite a bit, Ben Kabina. And then that's Thesiger there. Check it out. Now look how he's holding his rifle. It's actually kind of interesting. They actually carry it by the muzzle with the buttstock behind rather than carrying it soldier style. And he said, oh, why did you do that? That's just how they carry it. It's not particularly comfortable, but that seems to be how it works. And you'll notice, I don't know if you could see in here, you'll see Thesiger's feet. He was barefoot. Now, Wilfred Thesiger, did I say Alfred Thesiger before? Oh, jeez. Fire me now. Wilfred Thesiger, he decided to go shoeless like the native people, the Bedou people. Now, even though he eventually toughened up and his feet turned to this kind of soft leather, he said he could never do as well as the Bedou people. In fact, let me find a picture somewhere here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah, where is it? They're like, oh, yeah, check it out. These guys are standing on rocks, barefooted, with their rifles, in the heat of the desert, hanging out there. Now, I have to admit, I have sissy feet. I just totally cannot stand walking barefoot on rocks. Kills me. But these guys are walking on barefoot with rocks, maybe some thorns around. Nuts. And you can see Ben Kabina, he's a little bit older. They look pretty dang wild. Wilfred also learned to wear a turban. Now, people always make fun of turbans like, wow, that looks silly, it's pretty crazy. Why would you wear this massive hat in the middle of, I don't know, the Arabian Peninsula in the desert? It actually keeps your head cool. What? Yes. When they put water in that turban, and I've actually had this wrapped on my head in Egypt. It was pretty cool. Man, it was tighter than heck. I kind of throbbing headache, but I've not worn a turban for my whole life. But the whole idea is that you put a little bit of water in that turban, and you begin wrapping it around your head, and it becomes this. Let me show you again, just to illustrate the point. Let me find Ben Kabina. This huge thing. It not only keeps the sun off you, and you can see in the back there, it protects his neck, but it actually creates this interesting, cool environment on your head. Now, when I just wear a basic ball cap or my sun cap or something, if I don't have some breeze going, I actually totally overheat. But Thesiger talks about the importance of how this headwear, I guess you would say, actually works, that it creates this kind of cool, humid environment on your head where most of your heat is lost or overheats you. And it's really an interesting explanation. Now, Thesiger, also being the Christian infidel, had to have guides to get through this area, and more than once on his 5 trips, he had to totally dodge people and lie and hide. Now, normally I would say lying is bad. Yes, okay, there's white lies and all that, but for him, if people that didn't like him and didn't want Westerners traveling through their region, and they found out that Thesiger was there, what would happen? Yeah, that's right. They're not too friendly. And apparently it hasn't quite changed much today. I mean, you got the billionaires, and I wouldn't say trillionaires yet, but those crazy people have lots of money. Back then, they carried their water in goat skins. So they didn't have a Nalgene bottle. They didn't have I don't know, whatever else you would carry your water in. But they used the natural materials that people used at that time. Thorns for picking stuff. You get some terrible sores. Just really kind of rough. Wore loincloths. So your business is a little bit airy down there, but it's actually pretty important to stay cool. The writing in the book, just to talk about that, it's very accessible. You can see the text density in this book is pretty high. And I think, making the picture too dark there. The text density in the book is pretty high. And hopefully that doesn't mess up my keying. I got to figure out how to do that better. I need to, yeah, okay. Anyway, some mental note for the future. The text is eminently readable, even though Thesiger uses a few $5 words. Most of the text is eminently readable, so it's not like this crazy Shakespearean dialogue where you completely are lost and you need to use a dictionary every other paragraph. So let me read you just a sample chapter here, or sample paragraph. We watered our camels and filled our water skins. The water course, which gave us access to the pool, was soon packed with jostling camels, picking their way with clumsy deliberation among the boulders and snatching mouthfuls from any bushes they passed. Easy. very readable. So the fun thing about reading this is Wilfred Thesiger's writing really pulls you into the experience quite quickly. A lot of times when I read classics, I'm in hardcore stuff like Lord Jim or Nostromo or Robinson Crusoe. You have to remember that classics sometimes take like 20% of the book to get into, but once you get into the book and roll it, just, you're captured, but you have to give them that time. Thesiger, like, let's see, Ben Keshabina, preface, hang on, sorry. Forward, and this is Penguin, so they got a bunch of stuff. Abyssinia and the Sudan. Here's how the book opens. I first realized the hold the desert had upon me while traveling in the Hejaz Mountains in the summer of 1946. A few months earlier, I had been down on the edge of the empty quarter. Immediately gets to the point of the book. For a while, I'd lived with the Bedou people in a hard and merciless life, during which I was always hungry and usually thirsty. My companions had been accustomed to this life since birth, but I had been racked by the weariness of long marches through wind-whipped dunes or across plains where the monotony was emphasized by the mirages shimmering through the heat. It's easy to read, it's a little bit harder to speak. So the language there immediately pulls you in and gives you a feel for what the experience is like. If you really wanted to find out what the people before all this oil craziness and head cutting off and nutcase Taliban and whatever else would be, this is the book to read. You can actually get an experience where those people came from, how the tribalism came about. So it actually gives you a taste to help you understand how the people ended up as they did in modern day. So I highly recommend this Penguin Classics edition of Wilfred Thesiger's Arabian Sands. I'll see if I can put a link to it on Amazon below in the video description. I ordered it from a bookstore in, where was I? In Denver, Colorado. So they hooked me up, shipped it, the tattered cover, yes. I'll put a link to the tattered cover, however I remember it. Great bookstore, local following, highly recommended. Full disclosure, I'm not supported by a tattered cover. They don't give any money for this. I just was really appreciative that they were able to find me this book and send it to me. Definitely a 5-star read for the armchair explorer and the people who actually get out there and explore. Enjoy it. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer motivational speaker. Please like and comment on my video. Subscribe to the channel. Please support this channel on Patreon or through my PayPal links below. Thank you for watching and happy exploring.